The outbreak of Ebola in West Africa has claimed nearly 5,000 lives. Now, the human suffering has touched all of our hearts, and what to do about it has set off a debate that has become an issue in the campaign. UN Ambassador Samantha Power has just returned from a tour of Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, the three countries hardest hit. She joins us this morning from New York. Madam Ambassador, thank you so much. Are these countries getting anywhere close to getting a handle on this thing, and how do you see the situation this morning?
Thank you, Bob. Well, first, to my surprise, there really are positive signs in all three countries. In Liberia, thanks to the presence of the CDC and the U.S. military, we see the rate of safe burial, which is a key part of the solution here, skyrocketing to close to 90% in the capital, Monrovia. In Sierra Leone, the rate of safe burial within 24 hours is close to 100%. And CDC thinks that around half to 70% of the infections may well come from unsafe burial. So you can imagine what a difference that could start to make here, just in a matter of days or weeks. And the rate of improvement in safe burial came over a 4 or 5 day period just because of the injection of command and control, frankly, by the United States and by the British in the Sierra Leonean context. More and more people are getting educated. There's social mobilization that's now stretching out into the countryside. And I just got off the phone this morning with the head of the UN operation in the region, and he's done a full tour into the countryside, and he said wherever we have an Ebola treatment unit, a lab, and social mobilization, infection rates are coming way down. Where we don't, they're not. It's that simple.
You went through screening to get back into the country. Are you monitoring, self-monitoring, or what are you doing now?
I am, in accordance with New York state guidelines, I am reporting my temperature twice a day to the New York state health authorities.
Were you in any way apprehensive about embarking on this mission?
I was not, because I had talked to the CDC, and I'm very, very familiar with how this disease is transmitted, and we had run our itinerary through the CDC and the Department of Health and Human Services. So we felt good about the cost benefit, about risk, and we felt we had turned the trip into something that was of almost no risk. My family, of course, even though they also know the science, the question looms in everyone's head, and you just can't help it. That's what makes us human. So, of course, even in my own family, where I've educated everybody about what Ebola is and what it isn't, people have questions, and that's, again, very understandable.
The Canadian government yesterday, I think it was, barred citizens from those countries from coming into Canada. Should the United States think about something like that? And I guess the follow-up question will be, will this increase the traffic of people coming from those countries into the United States now that they can't go into Canada?
Well, President Obama's message on this and his view on this has been clear, I think, from the start, which is that his number one priority is keeping the American people safe. And the best way to keep the American people safe is to deal with this problem aggressively at its source. And that is where our emphasis has been. I think we have no philosophical objection to dealing with visa issues or travel issues if we thought it would keep the American people safe. But we think the better way is to actually increase the traffic into these countries of health professionals and of people who can actually help with the response.
And what about the fact that Canada is now barring those citizens? Will that cause more people to try to come to the United States?
I don't think we see evidence of that. I don't know that the flow into Canada from these three countries was all that high in the first instance. But again, we want to make sure that we don't do anything, given the long history, particularly between the United States and Liberia, and the friendship and the good that we are doing with these countries. We don't want to do anything to impede the response. And I will say, just one of the things I heard when I was there was marveling at President Obama hugging Nina Pham, the nurse who had been infected at Texas Presbyterian, who was Ebola-free. And one of the messages I heard was, we need the whole world to hug us like Obama hugged Nina Pham. And right now it's the United States that is aggressively hugging us, but other countries need to step up.
What more do you want to see coming from other countries? What kind of help is needed? What should be done?
The number one need, I would say, is health professionals, nurses. Jim Kim from the World Bank came out a couple days ago and said as many as 5,000 would be needed in the coming months. That's a large number when you think about how many people have to take away from their practices, make themselves available for 3 or 4 weeks. Right now, the Ebola treatment units that the United States is helping build in the countries in the region are staffed. Most of the NGOs you talk to can say, okay, we can see the next month getting covered in terms of healthcare workers, but we don't know what we're going to do for the month after that. And this is where we need to make sure that we incentivize these extraordinary individuals to go into the region, and we welcome them and treat them with great respect and appreciation when they come home.
Madam Ambassador, I want to thank you for being with us this morning. I also want to tell you that I admire you for embarking on this mission. We wish you the very best on this.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Thank you.